to be back. Oh, this is where we sleep. Let's see who's on our team. We got Ogmer.
Well, hey, that's not something you see every day.
We got Belleville.
Seems that I'm the only one of my kind here. Suppose I shouldn't be surprised. Still, it's my duty to help protect Skyrim as much as any Nords, don't you think?
That's right. Why did you join the Dawn Guard?
Isran is the only one trying to do something about these vampires. I don't much like him, but I can't allow the people of Skyrim to be preyed upon by those monsters.
Okay.
I'll be seeing you.
Got Salon.
Divine smile on you, friend. May you always prevail.
Ingard.
I hear you're doing a lot of the work in tracking down these vampires. If there's anything I can do to help, let me know.
How did you join the Dawn Guard?
Something bad happens, word spreads. More bad things happen, people worry. The more they worry, the more they talk about it. I've been hearing rumors for a bit now. I was glad to find out not only the bad rumors were true.
Okay.
Until next time.
Derek.
May your next fight bring you victory, friend.
Okay.
Yes? What did you need?
Dexian. Do you have any insights about your Elder Scroll reading?
I wish I could say that I did, but without the other two scrolls, the picture will remain incomplete. I admit, I feel a bit frustrated that I can't be more helpful. Still, our enemy is likely just as much in the dark as we are, and that's something. Now it's a race to claim the remaining scrolls and discover what part Oriel's bow has to play in this prophecy.
Okay, I need the Elder Scroll that speaks of dragons.
I wish I could help. The scrolls have changed hands so many times, it's impossible to keep track. Normally, I'd send you to the Imperial City in Cyrodiil to seek answers at the Imperial Library, but that avenue no longer exists.
Why is that?
The Elder Scrolls vanished from the Imperial City around 175 of this era, and have been scattered across Tamriel by forces unknown. If you want to find the remaining scroll, you'll have to consult with someone versed in magical knowledge. Perhaps at the College of Winterhold?
Okay.
Yes? What did you need?
Nothing. This must be my car.
Hope you're getting along with Isran. It takes some getting used to.
Yeah. I'm back from Nishanzel with the Dwemer exploding shock bolt schematic.
Back already? Can't wait. Let's see. Ooh, this diagram explains how to fashion a bolt that will send a jolt of shock through whatever it hits. Testing this will require some extra precautions, I think. Here, let me show you how it's made. Assuming you have the smithing skills, you should be able to make this yourself at Gunmar's Forge. Either way, I'll have some for sale soon.
Okay. Why wouldn't Isran like me asking about Florentinus?
The two of them just never got along. That's why Isran didn't have you go looking for him when he sent you after us.
Oh, I see.
I like what Isran has done with the place. It's good to see someone else who's really prepared.
Oh, well, 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 well. Get up.
Mm-hmm.
Cozy little place, isn't this?
Commerce Forge. Where's your forge, babe? What do you got for sale?
It's no War Maidens, but I've got a decent supply.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Fight bravely, friend. This is fine for now.
Oh, such colors.
What do you got for sale?
It's not easy to get supplies way out here, but I'm managing. Take a look.
Okay, thank you.
See you.
See ya. Well, 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 eh? I'm gonna go chase some echoes, baby. But I'm getting some sleep. See you when I get up. See ya. Hello. I'm going to read a book called Trap by Anonymous. I saw the gold and I took it. A different man might not have, I know that. And from time to time I think back on the hour when I saw the gold and took it. You see, I was hungry. Isn't it ironic? I don't remember much else about that night but the gold and the hunger. I don't remember the name of the tavern or even the village, but I believe it was somewhere in southern Vardenfell. I can't really be certain. For some time I sat dumbly in my chair, my mind occupied with nothing but the pain in my stomach. If you've never been truly hungry from days of no food, you can't know what it's like. You can't concentrate on anything. It wasn't until a figure to my left got up from the table to get a drink and left a stack of gold marks behind that I snapped to awareness. From this moment on, my memory is crystalline. My eyes to the gold, my eyes to the stranger's back, walking calmly toward the barmaid, my hand to the gold in my pocket. I'm up from the table and out the door. For just a moment I look back. The stranger has turned to look my way. He wears a hood, and I can feel his eyes meet mine. I swear, I can scent a smile. Out into the street, and behind some barrels, I crouch down, waiting for my pursuer. One benefit of a lifetime running from guards, I know how to disappear. For nearly an hour, I waited there, suffering even more from hunger. You see, I was awake now and I had the means to buy myself a feast. This knowledge tortured me. When I finally got to my feet, I very nearly fainted. I had only enough energy to walk to the other edge of the village, to a run-down tavern, before collapsing at a table. I think I must have fallen unconscious for a moment before I heard the barmaid's voice. "Can I get you something to eat, Sarah?" I gorged myself on roasts and pies and huge frothing mugs of grief. As the fog of near fatal starvation began to lift, I looked up from my plate to see a gold-masked stranger looking at me, his visage glowing by the blinding light of the moon through the window. He wore black leather armor and was a different physique and size from the man I had burgled, but I could tell he knew. I paid for my meal quickly and left. I skirted to the edge of the village through a tiled central courtyard surrounded by the squalid peasants' cottages. There was not a light shining from any window or door. No one was on the streets. I could find no place to hide, so I took the road out of town, heading for the wilderness. Hunger had pushed me on in the days before, but now I felt what I imagined to be the whip of guilt, or perhaps even then it was fear. I fell twice, rushing down the dark path, unused, to the slopes and pebbled texture. The sounds of animal life, which I had numbed to, were suddenly very loud in my ears, and there was something else out there in the night, something chasing me. On the side of the road there was a low wall, and I scrambled over it and hid. I knew enough about concealment to pick a spot where the bulwark sunk slightly so even if someone saw the outline of my figure, he would assume it to be part of the wall. It wasn't long before I heard the sound of running footsteps from more than one person pass by me, then stop. There was a moment of whispered conversation, and one of the people ran back on the path toward the village. Then silence. After a few more minutes, I peered out from behind the wall. A female figure in a dun gown, wimple, and veil stood in the road. On the other end of the road, blocking the way back to town, was a knight coated in dark mail. I could see neither of their faces. For a moment I froze, unsure whether either or both had seen me. "Run," said the woman in a dead voice. The hill behind me was too steep, so I leapt over the wall and across the road in 2 bounds. Into the night forest I ran, the maddening jingle of that cursed gold in my pocket. I knew I was making so much noise, my pursuers could not help but hear me, and now I cared more for putting distance between us than in stealth. Clouds of ash filtered through the moonlight, but I still knew it was too bright to hide. I ran and ran until I felt all my blood pumping in my head and heart, begging me to stop. I was at the edge of the wood, on the other side of a shallow stream from a vast crumbling house encircled by a rail fence. Behind me, running footfall in the broken dusty earth. To the south downstream, a distant sodden splashing of someone moving near. There was no choice. I half jumped and half fell into the mud and dragged myself up the bank on the other side. I rolled under the fence and ran through the open field toward the house. Jerking my head around, I saw 7 shadowy figures by the fence post. The cloaked man I had robbed, the man in the gold mask, the veiled woman, the dark knight, 3 others too who had pursued me, but I had never seen, and I thought I was the stealthy one. The moon was entirely hidden in a swarm of ash. Only the stars offered their meager illumination as I reached the open door of the ruin. I slammed and bolted the door behind me, but I knew there could be no protection for very long. As long as I looked about the ravaged interior of broken furniture, I searched for someone to hide, a corner, a niche where if I stayed very still no one would see me. A splintered table lying against the wall looked perfect for my purposes. I crawled under it and jumped when something moved, and I heard a frightened old man's voice. "Who's there?" "It's all right," I whispered. "I'm not one of them." His puckered, gnarled hand reached out from the shadow and gripped my arm. Instantly I felt sleep fall upon me. Resist it as I might, the old man's horrible face, the face of the hungry dead, emerged as the moon came out and shone through the broken window. His talons still gripping me, I fell back, smelling his death surround me. The table was thrown back. There stood the 7 hunters and a dozen more. No hunters they weren't. They were harriers who had chased me out of every hiding place, expertly pushing me to the lair of the real predator. He was weak with age. The old man was not as good at the chase as once he was. A blunt killing machine. "Please," I said. It was all I could master. Having enjoyed the sport I offered, he granted me mercy of sorts. I was not bled dry. I was not cursed by being made one of them. The burn. I was kept with others, most of us mad with fear, to be aged and tasted at the vampire's whim. We are called cattle. I lost all hope months ago of ever leaving the dank cellar where they keep us. Even if this note finds its way to the outside world, I cannot give enough information about my whereabouts to be rescued. even as some champion were able to defeat the bloodsuckers. I only write this to keep my own sanity and to warn others there is something worse than being hungry. Being food. That's that book.